Well, guys, we have got so much to talk about today that I'm not even going to have time to get through it all in this edition of the Forex Market Preview. But I also have a very, very big request. I'm calling in all of my chips on this one, and I'm literally going to beg you to do me one big favor. I'm going to talk about it right after this, so stick around. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Forex Market Preview. My name is Jason Stapleton, and I'm so glad that you are here with me. And most of you guys know who I am. There are about 17 or 18,000 of you now who are on YouTube, and then a whole bunch of you guys who are on my email list who get this video sent to you via email every single week. And I have had a lot of success over the last couple of years, and this has really been one of the linchpins that has always been a big driver for me, is just putting out this free video every week, getting a chance to share with you what I'm doing, and getting a chance to share my thoughts and ideas with you about the currency markets. And I have this last week I released a new show that I am doing called The Live Show. And I know it's a catchy name, but the idea of the live show is just for me to be able to talk a little bit about current events and about what's happening in the world, internationally and nationally, and how that's going to affect both your trading and, most importantly, your investing. So I'm branching out a little bit into some new uncharted water for me, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. And I want to make this show, the new show, just as successful as everything else that I've been able to do here. I've been very, very lucky. But I realize that my luck really comes from folks like you, and there is absolutely no way that I can make this show a success without you. And I want you to know first that I recognize that, and I really, really appreciate it. But the new live show is up on iTunes now, and this is what I need. Tomorrow, today is the 15th. Tomorrow is the 16th, and it is my birthday. So I'm going to add just a little twist of that knife to try and get you to help me out a little bit here. But what I would like you to do for my birthday is to go to iTunes. Actually, there's a link right underneath this video in the About section. There's a link underneath the video. It's going to take you to this page right here. Okay, and it's the link right to the iTunes live show. And this is what I would really like you to do. All you do is click on View in iTunes. It'll take you to iTunes. Hopefully you guys have iTunes installed. If not, I'll do a video that shows you, kind of how to do it. And then what I would like you to do, if you're willing, is to download both of the episodes that are there, because there's two. There's just a very short intro video, or I'm sorry, intro audio, and then there's actually the first session or the first live show that I did is on there as well. Download both of those for me, and then leave me a comment and give me a few stars for the effort. If you guys will do that for me, I would just really appreciate it. I can't give you anything. I was racking my brains. I'll give them something. I'll just, whatever I got to do to get them to go there and help me make this thing a success, I'll do it. The problem is there's no way for me to tell whether you do it or not. I can see how many people have actually clicked on to download the episodes, but I can't see who it was. So, it's completely anonymous. You're literally just doing this out of the goodness of your heart. You're doing it because I'm asking you to. And guys, I would really, really appreciate it if you would help me make this show, the new show, a resounding success. I want to get it on the top of iTunes charts, and I got the street cred and I've got the people to do it, but it's going to take your action. And so if you have ever, been in a situation where you're like, man, I wish I could give that guy something back, this is your chance. And it's my birthday, if I didn't mention that already. So I would just go to the website or click on the link. It'll take you here. All you got to do is click on View in iTunes. It'll take you over to the iTunes, and then just click. If you want to get it every week, you can subscribe to it. But at the very minimum, just download the episodes and give me a review, a customer review, because those are the two things that I need. I need downloads, subscriptions, and people to give me a review in order for iTunes to acknowledge that, hey, I've got something special here. So please do that for me, and I will be just greatly appreciative for that. Okay. That took a while here, but I'm very excited about it, and I just know that it's going to be a huge success if you guys will help me make it that. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's move right on into the trading for today. Like I said, I've got so much here on my plate. I'm going to have to cover, part of it in the syndicate because I'm never going to get to all of it here in the Forex market preview video and restrain for time. What I want to do here on the Euro USD first is just key you into something really kind of cool that happens all the time, but the people really aren't aware of it. We talk about the market moving in a rhythm, that the market is really nothing more than human psychology, and that people tend to act the same way over and over and over again throughout time. Well, depending on what point in time we're at and what the general feeling and emotion is that's driving the market at that time, you can get very specific harmonic moves that exist. And in this particular situation, I'm just going to copy and paste, if I can here, copy and paste. And I'm just going to show you, with the exception of this with this move, which is just a little bit longer. If I just go ahead and keep dragging this back, you're going to see just how harmonic a market we've got right here. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 drives here, and now we're looking at potentially a 5th drive. And that 5th drive on the euro dollar is going to take us up into 141, between 141 and 142, and that is the potential reversal zone. So if I scroll back here, actually I went back too far. The next resistance level is right in this zone. We have the support right before the crash in 2009, and then we have the rally back up here into this little zone here. So we have the previous support and we have the resistance level. So this is what I want you guys paying attention to as we go into next week. Now, there are two different options. Either the market will continue to rally here, or there is a possibility that we may see a retracement back down into the 3800s. And of course, a retracement back down into the 3800s is going to be a potential buying opportunity, and we're going to want to look at that for some potential areas to buy or to go long. Now, over on to pound dollar. Pound dollar worked out last week exactly how we anticipated it would. We called the short. The market rolled over about 100 pips, hitting our first profit target. And then I was taken out on the balance of my position here on trail stops. So I'm actually out of this position, and for a nice, about 100 pips of gain or so. And now I'm sitting on my hands. Because now, as you guys can see, we're kind of in a little channel here where the market has put in a kind of a low here and a high, and now we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. Will the market break out to the upside, and will we see new structure highs, or will it break down? Either way, I'm going to be looking to take advantage of the move after it occurs. So I'm going to wait for the market to signal which direction it intends to go, and then I'm going to look to hop on that trend for a potential move. Now, my hope is that this thing will break down, because there's room to the downside here to run, and I got some nice places to put some structure targets. So, but if not, if it breaks to the high side, no big deal. We'll go ahead and follow that along as well. The other trade for the week that we put out and talked about was the Aussie trade that ended up filling. Aussie trade we ended up getting short. Market rallied back up into previous structure resistance, but our stops held. And then the market rolled over and hit our first target at 89.19s. That was about 73 pips of profit, and then rallying back up and taking us out on our protective stops on the balance of the position. Now, that's about 173 pips of profit for last week, so not bad, not a bad run at all. And anytime you can pull some of those pips out, 173 pips a week is great. The syndicate pulled out, I think it was somewhere around 135. I didn't quite get that out of the syndicate myself, just simply because I took a couple of extra trades that went sideways on me, but still a profitable week there as well. So overall, it was a great week of trading. It's the type of weeks that we want to see, and we're going to try and put another one together this week. Let's take a look at New Zealand. New Zealand's got a butterfly, and as you guys know, I don't normally trade the butterflies. I only will trade a butterfly pattern when it runs up against structure. And in here, you have a beautiful ABCD harmonic move up into, look left, structure. Right into that. Now, it's a minor structure level, but you've got a place to put those stops. Now, on this particular one, I'm going to drop down a time frame because I actually haven't done the top-down analysis on this yet. And I'm going to see. Nope, I have not hit any type of double top here or anything like that that I could use for potential stop for a potential setup here. I can get stops right above the spike high here because they're going to be roughly where the other resistance level is. So if you were going to short this market, you could get stops above this swing high as well. But for right now, this one is not nearly as appealing to me as the the pound New Zealand trade. This one I really like. This is another butterfly pattern. Again, market comes down into the 127 extension. We have a little bit more, an extension of an ABCD move here into this 127 extension. Now I look left here. I don't really have anything, okay? I've got this little move here, but the market violated it here, it violated it there, it violated it there, and there. It's just there is some structure back here, but it's not anything to get excited about. However, when I drop down to my 60-minute time frame, and we talked about this in the private client group. We talked about multiple time frame trading, being able to take a look at multiple time frames in order to determine our entries, in order to provide ourselves the best possible risk reward that we can get. Now, the great thing about this New Zealand trade is look at this structure that runs right across here. You can get your stops right underneath this swing low here and trade this just as though it's an actual Gartley, butterfly pattern here, but with stops right below the swing low. That way, in the event that this market doesn't rally from here, if it doesn't hold this massive little structure base here on the hourly chart with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests, if it does end up rolling over, well, then you can be out of the position. But as you can see, look at the most recent cycle top. We had a break above, close above that level, signaling that the market intends to go higher. So I feel pretty confident about this one. And if this one will open up, my hope is that it will gap down into the open. But assuming that we don't get a huge gap up here, I'm going to go ahead and enter this trade. I'm going to go ahead and take this one myself, and we'll follow it through. Euro Aussie, last one I'm going to look at here is, I got just a list here, but the last one I'm going to look at is Euro Aussie. And Euro Aussie has a beautiful little head and shoulders pattern on it. It's not one that I show you very often, just simply because the entries typically are not very good on head and shoulders patterns. But as you can see here, we have the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. Put in a double top, right? Against another double top on the other side of the shoulder. You can get stops just above the swing highs here. The highs coming in at, let me see here, 55.37s. So stops just above 55.37s, and look for a continuation to the downside. We're looking for a break of the neckline, something like this, for a move lower. And so there is an opportunity to trade this right shoulder. One of the ways that that they teach, that people will teach to trade head and shoulders, and I guess the conventional way to trade head and shoulders, is to wait for the market to break the neckline. The problem with that is when the market breaks the neckline, look at the move that's already occurred there. I mean, you've got like 60% of the upward move, 60% of the retracement's already in by the time we do that. So when I trade these head and shoulders patterns, on the rare occasions that I will trade them, and I will likely not trade this one simply because it's not in my ROE at the time of this video, but I would always trade the right shoulder. And I would always look for a setup like this where I could find on my higher time frame the head and shoulders pattern followed by an entry on the lower time frame so that I could drop down to my trading time frame. In this case, the market's put in a beautiful little double top there that you can use to go ahead and short. So it really is up to you whether or not you want to do that. But I thought I'd throw that one in for good measure because we don't talk much about head and shoulders patterns here. It's mainly some of the more, some of the more advanced patterns and then some of the basic structure stuff. So I don't get into, there's a host, and I get a lot of questions about, well, why don't you trade head and shoulders patterns? And there's nothing wrong with them. A guy can make a lot of money trading head and shoulders patterns. I just don't do it because I can't trade everything. And I trade a lot right now. I trade trend continuation. I trade counter trend. I trade 2618 trades. I trade bat patterns. I trade cipher patterns. I trade Gartley patterns, and I trade butterfly patterns if they line up against structure. So I have a massive amount of stuff that I'm trading all the time. And adding one more thing on top of that is really just overkill. I have more things than I can trade than I have capital to trade. So that's pretty good mark that you've hit your limit. So that's going to be it for this week. Thank you guys so much. Please go and subscribe. Subscribe to the iTunes podcast, download it, and leave me a comment. Do those 3 things for me, and help me make that thing a big success. And until then, I will see you next time, 1 year older than I am right now, and I'll talk to you guys soon.